That's why.
Whereas
Yeah.
like with Valorant, you just pull out an iPad, or you could just go into like some weird phase and boom, you place a smoke down.
Yeah, that's the thing because CS veterans will always say that their game is more hardcore because it's less like Valorant is more like a quote unquote kids game because the
Yeah,
abilities and utility that you use are so straightforward and so obvious. Whereas in CS:GO, you have to do so many different kinds of lineups where you're doing like
yeah,
doing
right.
keybinds where you're jumping and moving forward at the same time and
Well,
throwing like
exactly
half.
right. Well, like I saw this one Twitter clip from Monacy. He plays for G2. He's like 16 or 17. This kid's a
That
crackhead.
guy's nuts. I've heard about him.
Yeah, no. So basically, I think it was on Dust 2 actually, but after they reworked it, where they added that little middle part for mid doors where you can't peek through it
I
anymore.
hated that.
So he basically found a smoke that like landed either, I can't remember if it was Xbox or if it was actually on the double doors, but like it was some like weird pixel perfect run jump like smoke.
Yeah, in that sense, CS definitely has Valorant beat in terms of like which game is more difficult to like quote unquote master. But I still think at
Yeah.
the end of the day,
The two games are completely like uncomparable.
the games are only as hard as basically the matchmaking
The,
system.
the only
That's what you're playing against is the
the only
matchmaking
reason that
system.
people compare the games is because like the fundamental, like you have your crosshair, you have your gun on the side,
It's
like
the shooting mechanics.
it's the shoot. Like that's the only thing. That's the only reason why people like compare the two games.
I mean, it's obvious why people compare them because the
No, it
two
makes
games are
sense.
like the only two games in their own kind of shooter genre. There's no other games really like it
In that
unless you
like
count.
tech, like I mean, I gather like the tack shooter genre is in general. Like you could like argue Siege is a tack shooter. Okay, maybe not so much anymore.
Siege is its own thing almost because it's
Siege
like
is dying.
there's so much 80. Yeah, Siege is irrelevant now. Who even cares about that?
I don't care about Siege. I am like well over that. But did you play Siege back in the day?
No, I never played Siege. I actually
Thank
I
God.
downloaded it, played it for like one day with my friend,
Yeah.
and I never played it again
I
because I was used to CS at the time, and CS was just it was like my bread and butter. It
I'd
just
love,
felt
dude.
so
I'd
good.
love to play CS again.
I mean, I miss CS too, but then I hop on and I think, wow, this is the exact same game as I was just playing,
I think
except different abilities.
I think I don't know. I think that's the one thing that really turns me off from Valorant sometimes is the abilities because people rely on them so much.
The abilities, people always say that they're cheesy because the Valorant's abilities kind of are cheesy.
They
Because
are
you don't
cheesy.
have to really be like look at the Agent Breach, for example. You'll pull out his Q ability, his
Right,
flash, and then
yeah.
you press a button, and then an entire bomb site can be flashed. No
Exactly
lineups needed.
right.
It's just
Where
so
it's
easy for bad people to be good.
Mhm,
But at the end
exactly
of the
right.
day,
Well, that's why I play like controllers mainly because it's like I just feel like I can. It takes just a little bit more skill than like your average duelist. Because
yeah,
with the duelist, it's all aim, no brain.
Duelist literally is all aim, no brain. Especially when it comes to agents like Jet, like pre-Jet nerf, when you just press dash to dash in, like
Oh yeah.
it was just like it felt
Okay.
like playing Call of Duty.
That is the thing that really gets me is those get out of jail free card abilities like Chambers
like
TP
Chambers.
or Jet's dash. Like it's just like, especially the people who crush those agents really hard. It's like if you were to throw them on any agent, they would do significantly worse.
Exactly. 'Cause they literally use it as a crutch. They're so reliant on it because they've only used that agent
And
to
they've
get to the rank that they're at.
yeah,
now.
exactly. Like if you were to look at their entire match career, it's like the next like 100 games straight of just Jet. Like
Yeah, and
it's
then one game someone insta locks their Jet and they have to get put on a Sentinel or something, and
yeah,
then they
right.
bottom frag, and it's like, damn, bro. You need to be good at least like 3 agents. Like,
That's why like I started playing the controller role because I could play Omen, I could play Viper, I could play Brim. Like the only controller I really haven't played, I mean, excluding Harbor, is Astra. I know how to play pretty much every other controller.
I can never get into smoke agents. They're just so boring for me to play. I'm sorry. Like,
I mean, no, I understand why people think it's boring. It definitely sucks sometimes. Like if we're five stacking and it's like, oh, I don't really want to play smokes, but now I'm forced to play smokes. But another thing is that I have trust issues. I don't trust anybody else on smokes besides me.
because if they're not good, they are so detrimental.
Well,
Like,
exactly,
they're so
right?
bad. Like if you have a Jet who's absolutely bottom fragging, it's not that big. Like they're not getting kills, yeah. So it's like you're not really helping anyone. But if you have like an Astra who's not using their util properly,
Yeah,
you're
right.
completely
You're
screwed. You can't
screwed.
do anything. None of your teammates can get kills anymore.
hmm
So
Well,
like
it's like I remember I played because when it comes to Haven, I tend to play Omen. Like that's like my go-to pick on Haven. I had this one dude play Viper one time, and it completely screwed me over because it made me obsolete. Like I couldn't do anything because first of all, who plays Viper on Haven? That doesn't make any sense.
no, Viper is really bad on that map.
She's really good. Okay, she's very 50-50 on Bind, but like I make her look really good on Bind.
Oh, okay, subtle flex.
Little subtle flex there.
What do we think about Harbor though as a smoke agent? Because I've seen his play. Okay, first of all, I think his ult is garbage.
His ult is very bad.
I don't know when I first encountered it, I had no idea what was happening. I was just
Exactly.
running around, and
And I
it
was
just
getting
didn't get me, and I
stunned.
was totally fine.
See,
And
I
it
was
didn't.
the only reason it got me was because like I just didn't know how it worked. But then once I found out how it worked, I was like, oh,
You
this
just
is
keep
like
running.
just
Like
keep yeah.
in some situations, okay, yeah, like his ult did like affect me and like get me killed, but it's not that good. And ultimate needs to be like game like round changing.
It's
And
yeah,
Harbor's ult is
exactly.
like
But like I mean, I feel like it depends per agent, you know, like because I know you can obviously pair up alts. Like if you want it to be
yeah,
really toxic, you could pair up a breach alt, a fade alt, and an omen alt.
stop.
Like
That
boom,
would be so
concuss the entire
toxic.
team. Boom, the entire team now can't hear. Oh, Omen TP. I'm Omen TP on the site. Boom, that's 3 kills right then and there.
But like just compare a Harbor's ultimate to like a Brim or a Sova ult or like a Viper ult. If you managed a Viper ult on site and get the bomb down, you practically won the round. What
Like
is a
exactly.
Harbor
Well, like
ult?
on Breeze, like we see, like as soon as I run out, boom, I'm popping the ult. The ult covers where I'm planting the bomb, and I can also like move around it. I also this is like more like a strategic thing that I'm gonna get into, but like when I'm playing Viper, you know on A say like the two titties, right? And how it kind of like
Yeah,
angles down into the water a little bit. I try to like pop my ult closer to there because then it hits that pretty much the entire site, and I can actually like go in between the two triangles with the ult, and like nobody thinks to check there, and
yeah,
it's like oh he's on the bomb, okay, let me just turn the corner real quick, you know.
yeah. No, honestly, I think Harbor eventually we're gonna find out whether he's overpowered or underpowered. I think there's a lot that can be done with this kid, and we've only yet to find out
Me,
just the beginning of it.
I think he's underpowered if I'm being completely honest. I
Yeah,
mean, like his whole what is it, his like smoke ability or whatever, like how you can like shoot it and nobody and the person on the inside of the smoke isn't gonna like get damaged for like a certain amount of time. But it's like I feel like that needs a little bit more health because I saw like one raise satchel, boom, the entire thing's gone.
yeah. Well, I think we'll have to wait and find out in a few months.
Yeah,
Anyways, guys, my name is Jordan. Here I have with me Brant, and this is the ValCast podcast, the weekly podcast where we talk about all news Valorant. Every week there's going to be new stuff that we can talk about, and we're going to talk about pretty much everything that we can cover on this podcast. So, whether it comes to tweets that pros made that are worth talking about, or
you know, a little drama
roster
action here
changes,
and there.
we want to talk about a lot of drama in the pro scene because with roster mania going on right now, I think there's a lot of juicy stuff to talk about. And I love talking about it. It's super interesting to me, and of course, Brant as well. So
I mean,
we're really excited for this.
esports to me just in general have been like a very big part of my life.
Yep.
I've been watching esports probably for the last like 8 years maybe.
Since I can date it back to like the Optic Dynasty and like Black Ops 2. I think
Oh
that's
my
when everyone
god.
started. Like the Phase versus Optic Dynasty, like
Yeah,
the
and like the prime Call of Duty. Like that's what got me into esports. I was
yeah,
watching Optic Scumpy
Scumper Jumper,
back in
yes.
grade 7. Like that was my introduction to esports, and I mean now I'm here, right?
And now we're here, yeah.
And so it's like, dude, any esport I'll watch it. Like Counter Strike, oh Counter esports, love them. Valorant esports actually more like they're majors now, like they're LAN events now that they're having like crowds and stuff. Like that just makes it so much more enjoyable because I love
Yeah.
hearing crowd reactions when somebody makes an insane play.
Valorant majors started off really bad because firstly, it was the first one was only online and it was only regional.
Yeah,
Then they
right.
finally went to LAN, and I was devastated when they didn't have a crowd. It didn't even feel like a LAN event. It didn't feel
No,
like
it
a
doesn't.
major. I
It
got
doesn't
no
have it.
benefits out of it as a viewer.
Yeah, right. I feel like majors without crowds don't carry as
Yeah.
much weight. You know.
Yeah, right. And even when they did finally bring in like a crowd, what was it like the last Champions event? Was that the first one where they actually had a crowd?
Yeah, it was. It was. I think it was. I can't remember if it was the championship weekend. Cause what VCT champs goes on for like what 2 weeks or something like
I
that.
don't think they had it in the group stages, but they
No,
had
they
the
didn't have it in
crowd.
the
I
group
think in
stages.
the yeah.
They had it. I know they had it championship Sunday, obviously, and I think it was for that main weekend. If I'm being completely
But
honest.
honestly, when I was watching it and I saw the crowd, I could barely even hear them. Like I looked in the
Yeah.
stands and I couldn't even tell who was fans of who because right now, like I don't know. I think Valorant is too early on in its like competitive pro scene community because like I don't know. I don't see lots of fans rooting for specific teams. I think it's just people there because they're happy to be there.
I mean,
I don't know.
me personally, I don't really. I just watch. I watch teams for players at this point. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, I used to watch Optic because I like Optic as an organization, but since now they're not in VCT, I just kind of watch teams for players. Like C9, for example, I'm watching them Mostly because of Zelsis and Zeppa. Like those are probably like two of my favorite players.
I'm gonna be watching a lot of NRG because they have artists now.
Right.
And
Well,
the
and
only
they got the core 3 from Optic plus their coach.
I just think it's funny because like FPX is like the best of EU, and
Yeah.
they have artists. And NRG, former Optic, they had like El Diablo, yay.
Yeah.
They basically replaced the best NA chamber with the best EU chamber.
Right.
So it's gonna be nuts. Like I don't know what I'm gonna expect to see when they first start actually playing in the franchise league next year. But it's gonna be super fun. Like I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting to see like top EU players go to NA. I really wanted to see Scream come to NA because I
really
love
did
that
too.
guy.
Did you
And
see
that
Scream and Navera? I think it's confirmed now that they left Liquid. I can't remember what. I saw it on Twitter, but I can't remember what team they're going to now. But yeah, both Scream and Navera left Liquid.
yeah, because they're brothers, right?
They are brothers.
I
Yeah.
had no idea. Who's this Navera guy? Was he popular in CS?
I don't. I only know him because of Valorant. I never heard the name back in CS.
Maybe he just never got his start. He never
He-
was able to
he-
get his
yeah, he
feet
might
off the
have.
ground.
Well, because I mean, like, you're almost like in the shadow of your brother at that point. Like,
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I
But
mean,
if you're good enough,
I feel
you'll
like
make
it is hard to get into. Like, if you're siblings, I feel like it's hard to get into the esports scene one after the other. Like Scream, for example.
Yeah.
This guy's been competing in CS since like what?
Absolute legend.
I can't even remember
He's
how
one of the
long
OGs,
he's
yeah.
he's an OG in Counter
Yeah,
Strike.
he's kind of old now. He's almost a boomer. He looks young, but I feel like
He
he's
looks
old.
young. I mean,
He's
his
a
game, dude.
sexy guy.
His gameplay 16 for real. Like, sorry, did you say he was a sexy man?
I said he was.
He is a sexy
such
man.
a good-looking dude.
No, he is.
Think
I
about
am like,
look at all of the pros in Valorant and even in CS:GO. It's so rare to see an attractive man.
no, on it, you have a very good point. It is hard. It's
Baby
very
Bay,
rare to see.
Baby
Like,
Bay looks pretty good.
I really don't like the way he looks. He looks like a common douchebag. to
Well,
me.
yeah, but he's not ugly, you know. And okay, we also have Dapper. Dapper's a decent looking dude as well.
Dapper's pretty good looking.
Dapper, who else?
I think Tense is pretty good looking. I'm not gonna lie.
Tense is okay. He's just your average run-of-the-mill guy. Yeah.
I think what other pro? It's really hard to narrow down like good looking pros.
No, my opinion is that most of them look like they look like
typical gamers.
They look like gamers. But you ever see pros at lands? Like I swear they always walk a little bit weird, and they have that little bit of the hunched over posture.
You can tell a gamer just
bod.
it's the gamer
bod,
posture. You can
dude.
just tell.
I used to have it when I was younger, when I was
still have
gaming
it.
every single day. But I finally fixed my posture with a good gaming chair. So
Nah, dude,
we're good now.
I still have the gamer posture. When I play games, no matter even if I'm playing a casual game, I'm still leaned into my monitor because it's a force of habit. And I can't change it.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone does that. You can't avoid that.
No,
like when you're watching a LAN event and everyone's playing, nobody's leaned back in their chair. Everyone's
dude,
like
people are
hyper
in their monitors.
focused.
I was watching. I know this is a Valorant podcast, but I'm switched to Call of Duty for a little bit. I was watching pretty much every Call of Duty LAN from this past season. It's like there's just one player, and like they have monitor mounts. So like this dude's monitor was like his nose was touching the monitor pretty much. Like and that just goes for all esports. It's like, how do you see?
Like you have who is it from the guard? A Saya player.
Oh,
have you seen his posture?
Dude, he plays on a standing desk. He plays on a standing desk.
He plays standing up.
I'm pretty sure.
There's no way.
No, it is like I saw a behind the scenes video. I'm pretty sure that he plays standing up. That's why his posture looks so weird. Do you see the way he holds his mouse? He holds it like with his his fingers.
No, he literally from the videos I saw, he was sitting down and he had his keyboard here, his like monitor up to his face, and then his mouse was like all the way up to the side, and he would just play like this. Completely horizontal from his shoulder. It was weird.
I'm pretty sure he went to T1 now.
Oh yeah, because that's in Korea.
Yeah, T1's trying to build like an all-Korean team, pretty much, which obviously makes sense.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I actually didn't know Saya player came from Overwatch. It was apparently nuts. I looked at some of his highlights.
He used to be a Widow main.
He's a mechanical god. No kidding, man.
Like,
he's unreal.
Every time I think of Saya player, I think of that the 1v3 he had on Haven against 100 Thieves. He was playing his Jet. He smokes out. He managed to get 2, and then as he dashes away, he gets one more kill on long and defuses the bomb.
I think a North American team should have picked up Saya player. I feel like he has a lot of potential.
Dude, he has a lot. Same with Trent, honestly. I mean, obviously, Roster Mania is still going on, but like Trent is a very good initiator. I feel like he's best on Sova, but like he's still a very good initiator nonetheless.
He had his like spark right at the beginning with guard when they were like hitting a stroke of luck, and they were
Yeah.
like going off. And then after I think
I'm
they made it to the
I'm
LAN.
surprised they didn't make it into what's this new VCT called? Like franchising,
Partner,
yeah.
right
Partnered,
partnership,
yeah,
whatever you
whatever.
call it.
It's really weird. Me
The
personally,
guard.
I don't like when esports do that. When they
Yeah, they
like
just cut
franchise it.
half they split people in half.
Well, like call it like I'm going back to Call of Duty. It's like that's my esport from growing up. It's like
Yeah.
you know, you had teams like Optic, FaZe, Luminosity, and now it's like now all those teams like they don't really exist anymore outside of like Valorant. If I'm being honest, like I haven't seen LG in anything besides Valorant.
Yeah, and now like, well, LG they sold their team to Shopify Rebellion.
They
right?
did, yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously Shopify didn't get it because
Unfortunately,
apparently you need to be god amongst orgs to be able to get.
I'm surprised
partnered.
Optic Gaming of all organizations didn't make it into franchise.
It's so weird because with FaZe they didn't get partnered because, or no, which organization was it? Yeah, no, I think it was FaZe. They didn't really get partnered because they have a bad reputation. Like remember a long time ago, like OG FaZe guys, they made that Bitcoin, that cash grab. What was it like? Save the kids or something like that.
I remember that.
Yeah,
It was like Tico, but Tico was proven innocent. Like he had like no idea.
Innocent.
He had no idea that was happening. But like
the main takeaway is that like if
FaZe is yeah, they have a bad reputation just from some of the stuff they've done in the past. Because I know Banks. If you remember back when like the CS:GO like case opening websites were a big thing.
Yeah,
Like how like him and and like the big
CS:GO Lotto.
Yeah, like they owned those websites, so like their drops were, I guess they could like influence the drops in their favor.
They could basically win every time. Show people that they're winning and getting money, saying, "Hey,
come to this website, right?
This
like
website, maybe you'll win like me." And it's like, wow.
That would like a reputation like that would make sense on why FaZe didn't get into.
Then
into
you look at a
franchising
team
per se.
like Optic, though.
But yeah, like that doesn't make sense. I know Optic and Hex recently put out a video that like explains it. I haven't watched it yet, but it's just like I feel like with an organization of that magnitude, like they should almost like, just be like guaranteed to get in.
Optic is huge, and they have no bad reputation. I'm sure they have money. I mean, I don't know for sure, but like, surely they're a big enough organization.
They have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Do you remember the organization back in the day, Envious?
Yeah.
They merged with Envy. So now what Optic is now is Envy plus Optic together. Well, yeah, so all their funding comes from Envy.
Because they used to be Envious.
Yeah.
Envy. And then they sort of switched branding to Optic. So
yeah, that was like just last year. But then like it was a full merger now where the company of Envy doesn't really exist anymore, and it's now mostly Optic Gaming.
Yeah, so just combined.
Yeah, they just combined assets pretty much.
And Optic didn't get it. They didn't get the partnership. No, like literally the best team in North America, arguably the best team in the world, and they don't get it. Like
right.
Obviously, they aren't choosing their partners based on how good the Valorant teams are, but like if even it's Optic, man, come on,
right?
We all want to see the Optic stay, but I mean, maybe it's a blessing because like yeah, sure, we would love to see all the Optic guys stay together and like win some championships and whatnot, but at the same time, it's also a little bit more interesting to see all the top players from the best team go to different teams and like create, instead of having one dominant team, you have multiple teams that all have this top level talent that can compete with each other really well. Like seeing C9 against Shield, those are going to be some insane rivalries. For sure.
Honestly, my favorite part about roster mania is just seeing where players are going to go. Because it's like it's always so up in the air, and it's like
free entertainment.
It is. It's free entertainment for like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I'm just so eager and impatient now because I want these matches to get going already. Game Changers is cool, but like, man, I want to see like C9 and
you know what? I'm interested to see how this what's the Ascension League, like the tier 2.
That's gonna be good too.
Well, because like there's obviously some organizations are gonna be in it. Like I'd assume FaZe would probably be in it.
There's gonna be a lot of teams staying in it, like TSM, right?
I think so. Yeah, I'd assume so.
And like, there's so many big.
But then there's gonna be like pickup teams. Like I saw Sinatra, Stewie, and I think Dapper, and maybe Shroud. They're making like a content team.
That's gonna get more numbers than the actual franchise league. Like Ascension League is not short of any like.
That's gonna be some entertainment, because it's like, there's no restrictions pretty much. It's like just
Yeah.
make a team and try to qualify for it. Really.
Because there's a ladder all the way going up to franchise. Like there's like in Counter-Strike, like what do you do? Like how do you if you're living in North America and you want to go pro in CS, you might as well
You might as well
don't
chalk.
quit your day job. Like it's not going to work in CS, but in
Well,
Valorant it's
yeah,
much more doable.
and I think going to what you mentioned to me earlier, the League Wardell DMs between him and Stewie, it's like it's easier to go pro in Valorant than it is in almost any other game.
Because there's more resources for everyone to do it. I mean, like we saw like the beta testing in Brazil for what they're doing, like for like the built-in like tournament leagues and stuff like that inside Valorant for Radiance. So as long as you hit Radiant, you can build a team with your friends and you can keep climbing up. And
Yeah,
then from
well,
there
because
you
like
have that step to get to Ascension League. And then from there, like you had
well
it's
before partnership, was it VCT was open qualifiers, so you could just go in.
you literally could, and we saw like I
We
would
I mean
always
we contemplated buying Immortal accounts just to do it because
like you can literally you can go in and see like you can check the open qualifiers like the first round like of like 128 teams or however many like
yeah.
people actually qualified, and you can see absolute blowouts because they would match those teams, those random teams of like five friends with like FaZe or like because like
Yeah,
they would
right.
all qualify from like the start, they'd all start at the same
Yeah,
point.
it's like
So you'd see FaZe 13 owing some random team with some troll name, and honestly that's amazing. Like I don't think CS has that at all.
no, I mean because
I
any
mean, I don't think it's amazing that they're absolutely getting their backs blown out, but it's entertainment, and it's like
no, it's entertainment nonetheless.
because we can see the physical point where people start to where people can end. You can see how people progress from the very beginning, as opposed to just you know,
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I feel like the competitive scene is definitely shaken up now, especially with the franchising. I think that happens with almost every sport. It's like
yeah, it does.
as soon as they introduce franchising, the whole like that whole esports scene for that game is not like in
It,
shambles,
it
but
gets
like
reset
it
pretty
gets
much.
yeah,
It's a
it's like a
hard
fresh
reset,
start. I
and
don't know.
I think it's good. I'm honestly glad that franchising or right partnership whatever happened because before it it was going stagnant, and I feel like certain teams were climbing to the top and other teams were just getting left behind, and we were seeing the same results over and over again.
Yeah,
I think
right.
what they're trying to do with this partnership system is make like a few top teams at equal levels near the top, so there's
Exactly.
more competitive because like in
Yeah, no, I completely understand. It's trying to make it more, trying to make a competitive scene more competitive instead of having like the optic team, just blowing out every single damn team.
every single other North American team, and then qualifying. The only thing that remained very competitive and up in the air versus who was better than who was LAN events because teams never had the chance to play each other except on LAN. So it's always totally random, like who's going to be better than who. Only really the players can know that.
If I'm being honest, I really hope because I know they did this back in the day before COVID, but like if they're playing league matches, have them in a neutral location where they can play those league matches on LAN. Instead of some like multi-million-dollar facility with like praying you get the best internet and connect, to maybe 20 ping.
That's what they're like. You know how they were talking about like the hubs
Yeah,
for is that what you're talking about?
yeah, like just having like a neutral location. Say for example, we'll say Texas. Say
Yeah,
every NA team goes to Texas.
yeah.
And then it's like, oh, because I know there's an esports arena in Texas. They just compete there for those league matches. I know I was watching this with my friend Ant. I can't remember what region it was. I think it was Korea.
Yeah.
But their league matches, they play them on LAN
Yeah,
with
it was
fans.
Korea.
They have fans at those league matches. Sure, it's only going to be 2 maps and maybe what 4 teams playing.
They're so ahead of the game.
But like, dude, it's a league match.
Why can't we have that in North America
I
already?
know, right? Like,
NA is too big. That's why, because people are all across the country and we have to fly out. We could fit like 5 Europes inside North America.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really hope they just if you're doing league matches, I get it. Majors obviously need to be on LAN, but like league matches
100%.
too, because especially if like you need those like if it's going the way I think it would, those league matches, if you win a league match, you get a certain amount of points, and then
Yeah.
like those points, they're then put into a ladder, and if those the most points gets the best seating at the next major. But it would just make
Exactly.
more sense to have those league matches on a LAN environment, so it's equally competitive.
And that's what they're doing with the hubs. I think they're going to have one big hub in North America
Yeah,
for like NA and like South America and like Brazilians. And then they're going to have it in EU. And then I think they're also going to do another hub in Asia. for
Yeah.
all the Asian, and they're gonna have those three main hubs where they're gonna be doing like all the competing. The only thing is though, I don't think you can like have every single professional match played at the hub because people literally have to live there their
Yeah, right. Well, it's like
entire career. Like people
or
want to go
pretty
home.
or like for like the season kind of thing. Like
Yeah, like people in CS, they travel a lot. Like a lot of CS players complain about how hard it is because they are constantly traveling and going to different places
yeah.
and different LAN events all the time. They can never stay at home. I think the good thing with this Valorant hub is that they're gonna have one place where they're competing every single time, and then you go and do the LAN event or like the
Mhm.
championship wherever it may be once a year. I think that's much more manageable for the players. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be better. I think overall being a pro just from from my viewpoint of being like a fan, I feel like being a pro in Valorant is so much better than being a pro in CS.
I do too. I have faith in Riot because Riot knows how to run their esports, so I feel like
They know what they're doing.
they'll do a good job when it comes to franchising. Because I feel like they're also gonna learn like they're gonna learn from the mistakes that like the Overwatch League made, that the Call of Duty League made. Like I feel like they're gonna learn from those mistakes, apply them
Yeah.
to this new franchising for Valorant, and I think they're just gonna run with it.
They have all the tools and resources. If they mess this up, then like that's on them, man.
That no, that's completely
That's
on
on
them.
them because like right now they are set up for like a really successful year in esports next year. Like 2023 is going to be nuts.
It's going to be an insane season for esports. What do you think about some of the new rosters that have been announced? Like I know Sentinels confirmed their roster, C9's
Let's
confirmed
talk about
theirs.
Sentinel's roster
All right.
because Tens is a big talking point because this guy obviously, he's Tens. He's the biggest name in at least North America, if not the world. But he fell off, or quote unquote fell off with his former Sentinels roster that they had some really bad showings last year or
Yeah.
whatever, and they were never able to like bring it back to what they used to do because they won like two majors in a row, and then from there on, people joked about them not scrimming and like not trying hard enough or just thinking they're too good. Oh, we don't need to do this kind of thing. Whether that's true or not,
I think their problem though was they were relying on tens way too much. Because
yeah, it could have been that, but I saw an interview with the coach of XSET, who is now the coach of Sentinels, and
who
he
was the
was
coach of X again? I forgot his name.
I forgot his name too, but he's the guy that always wears the suits
Yeah,
at
I
LANs.
know who
He
you're
has the
talking about.
aviators. You
Yeah,
can't miss him.
I know who you're
That
talking
guy
about. I
looks sick.
forget his
He's my
name
favorite
though.
coach. I love that guy. But I saw a YouTube video, and he was talking about how he formed the Sentinels roster, and
Who's on the roster again? It's ten.
Sassy, Pincata,
Stacy Pincata, right?
Def,
Tens.
and
Def.
Second, Tens. Yeah,
Right, and then sick is their sub. I
yeah.
forgot.
And the coach of XSET, or now Sentinels, he was talking about how he was deciding whether he should keep Tens on the roster or not, because obviously, like recently, Tens hasn't been doing that good. He
No, but
hasn't been putting up great numbers. He's been super inconsistent and stuff like that. And
again,
Tens literally
the
told,
the reason I feel like that happened though was because they put so much pressure on Tens to be that star player.
yeah, but Tens actually, he went out and he said to his coach, he's like, listen, if I have faith in my team and I have confidence in the roster that I'm playing on, I will perform good. He
Mm-hmm.
was basically implying that the Sentinels roster before, like he
It
didn't
was
have
falling
faith
apart,
in it.
like
It
on
was
the
falling apart. He knew he didn't have confidence in him in the roster, therefore he didn't have
confidence in
confidence in
himself.
himself to
That no,
be
that
able to
makes
perform again.
well, especially in any sport, anything you do in general, confidence is a big thing.
It's everything.
Because
It's
like,
everything.
that's what makes you play good is confidence, and it's if you're not confident, you're not gonna play good. It's as
Like
simple as that.
the assistant coach for Sentinels, I think he has a major in psychology,
Really
esports psychology, I think actually,
interesting.
because like entering like the flow state and having confidence and being able to play at your absolute best, it's all mental when it comes to esports.
Oh yeah.
Think about like the last time you were tilted in your ranked game. Like it's all mental. Whether you play
It
good or
is.
bad, it's because of the mentality that you're at in that point. We're all guilty of having bad games because we're in a bad mood because
Okay,
we got
but let's be
crap on.
real here. Valorant itself is bad for your mental.
It is
Like,
bad for your mental
why do I want to go to Diamond if I know I'm just gonna get smurfed on by some kid who's too insecure to play an immortal?
because it's literally not fair in the ranking system. It's just that way. But the way I see it is everyone is dealt the same cards. Everyone has to go through the same stuff that you've gone through to get to
True.
their rank. So sometimes you just gotta suck it up and you just gotta get through it. I have never seen a good ranking system in any video game before. It's always been flawed because you can never find a way to perfect it because people are always gonna smurf. They're always gonna hack in Valorant.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal.
But I know
don't
what you mean. what we have in Valorant is probably the best ranking system we're gonna get for any esport. As long as it's like an elo base, like I won this game, I'm gonna get plus 100 elo. Oh, I lost this game, I'm gonna get minus 150 or something. Like that is probably the best way to judge a ranking system.
Yeah.
The only thing stopping that ranking system from like succeeding is the players who play the ranked game mode. Because you have like for example, you have the people who hit a Mortal 1. Oh, okay, I'm not gonna touch my Mortal account ever again.
I hate those people, yeah.
Because those are the people. That's the people I go up against in my ranked games. But then there's people like we've played before. Because you're Diamond 2 now or Diamond 3?
Diamond 3.
Diamond 3. See, and I'm Plat 3, and like when we played, I'm still going up against Diamonds. Yet I'm out fragging them pretty consistently. So it's like how
because it's just so hard. It's just so hard to compare stats because stats are literally just numbers, and that's all that they are. The ranking system is supposed to be like a very big general idea of how good you are at a game. And when people take those numbers so seriously and literally, like, oh, I'm Diamond 3, I'm better than you because you're Diamond 2. Like, no, dude, that's not the case at all.
Exactly.
Like, you don't know what you're talking about.
I'm guilty of that. That is something I'm working on.
That's something I do it too.
It's like, oh, I'm Plat 3. Oh, this kid's Gold 2. I should easily smoke him. But like, oh, next thing you know, this guy's the next second coming of 10s, right?
Yeah,
but it's like
I've seen people like that are super low ranked, but they're just nuts and they're just naturally gifted at aiming and they're not smurfing or anything. It's no magic. It's just like the ranking system is not perfect and people expect it to be perfect. How do you expect it to be perfect and you hold it up to those standards? You're just going to be let down.
Yeah, exactly.
And I also hate it when people download like the blitz.gg or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
What's the other one? There's two, I think.
There's tracker.gg as
Tracker and Blitz, where people can see everybody's stats, their rank, their average combat score. Like,
to me, that doesn't.
I used to have it installed for a bit too because I wanted to see the ranks I was going up against, so I could know how much elo I would like gain or lose from it. But people look at those stats and they take it so seriously.
Yeah.
It's like it's because they don't tell you anything. It's not true. You have to see someone on your team with like a high average combat score. Chances are they're just going to be average in your game.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like, okay, my KD isn't the best. I think it's like a point. It's like a 0.9 or something.
I don't even know what mine is.
Definitely not the greatest, but I also don't care about my KD because the role I play as a controller, I feel like, is more important on how I play the role. Sure, kills matter.
We're not playing Call of Duty here. We're playing Valorant. Yeah, kills don't matter. Even a headshot percent doesn't matter. I was watching a YouTube video today on one of the pros. I forget, but he was talking about like basically headshot percent, like in terms of like how pros view it, is a pointless stat. I think because it doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't. It's just like, oh, you can aim for the head, good for you. But like,
it's just headshot placement. That's all it is. Because think about spraying through smokes and wall banging. Those aren't really going to be headshots. Supposed to know where head is through the wall.
Exactly.
And it's just going to lower that percent. The headshot percent is like so inaccurate. It doesn't.
Yeah, like I think the last time I checked, my headshot percent was like, I don't know what you would consider a high headshot percentage.
I guess like 30 and up, I guess.
Okay, so mine was about there. Mine was like 25, 26, and it's like I was pretty impressed with that.
But do you aim like Ye? Because he has lower headshot percent than that.
Does he actually?
I think so. At least most of the pros that you see have a lower headshot percent than that.
Fair enough, but you also got to remember Ye is an opera. So
yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure Ye has a higher headshot percent like that. But like a lot of pros, like Finesse. I don't mean to bash on Finesse here, but his aim is kind of dog, and he's so smart, but man, his aim sucks.
I mean, me personally, it's like I hit a lot of body shots. I'm not gonna lie, I hit a lot of body shots, but like again, I would rather do a lot of. Okay, maybe not. I would not want to do 148 that my teammate hits him in the toe and kills him. But like, I would rather do chip damage to more people, so my teammates, like the duelists, for example, can go in and like clean up those. Like you and I, we have that duo chemistry as a controller and the duelist. Like,
yup. Gotta have that chemistry. It's important.
I'll flex that one play we had on Breeze, whereas it was a 2v3. They sage walled the bomb, so my mollies couldn't hit them. Yeah. So we just both ran out. You popped your ult. I think you got 2 with it, and
was I cleaned it.
You were on Raze, and it was on Breeze.
Yes.
Do you remember that one? It's like you just popped out, killed 2 with your ult, which broke the wall, and then I had a third guy.
I remember now, and it felt so nice.
It did. We didn't plan that. Not at all.
Planned at all. It just kind of happened that way. That's why I feel like most rounds of Valorant just kind of go that way because I just go with the flow. Like things happen, and then all of a sudden the round's over, and I'm like, oh hey, I got 2 kills there. Because when you're in flow state and you're so focused, you don't really remember all the specifics. You live in the moment. You live in the now. Like that's all you can think of. So like
what does annoy me though is like I feel like this could sound a little egotistical, and I don't want it to come off that way, but I do feel like I have a pretty decent understanding of the fundamentals of Valorant and how like a round could be played out. Not
You
should
have
be, but
enough
could
hours
be.
to be able to say, the fundamentals of the game.
Yeah, because it's like what annoys me is like this has happened even when we're playing in 5 stacks. It's like I call a strat and then nobody listens to the strat and then we lose the round and people wonder why we lost the round.
Yeah. Oh my God. Today I was playing with a Reyna who, first of all, he wasn't voice calming at all. And
Oh, was he an insta lock?
he was an
Oh,
insta-lock Reyna,
typical.
yeah.
Typical.
But no,
Anyway.
he insta-locked, and then first round in, he tells our chamber, who, by the way, he was Radiant. He had a Radiant
Oh,
gun
is
buddy.
that the one you were telling me
That's the one I
about?
was
Okay.
talking about. He tells the chamber right off the bat, like, trip, because we were on Breeze, he was like, trip halls. The chamber's like, no, it's first round. It costs too much.
Yeah, like
The entire game, he did not calm once. He was 0-9 in the first half, or something like that. Like, oh my God, shut up, man. Like, these typical, like, these stereotypical like insta-lock duelists are actually real, and they're so toxic, and he wasn't
No, it is because
helping
they think they are the next coming of tens, but they're not.
No,
It's
he
like
wasn't even fragging. He was just tilted the whole time, and I was carrying on raised. Yeah. Anyways,
well, flex, well, subtle
subtle
flex.
flex. I
We'll
was
carry it.
carrying.
We'll carry it. No big deal. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like it annoys me because it's like we're in a 5 stack. It's like okay, we should have a coordinated team, but it's like I call something and just nothing comes of it.
Do not ever get your hopes up when you solo queue a ranked game.
Oh, I do.
If you ever
if you
think for
okay,
a
if you
second,
solo queue, I respect it a lot because like
I do
I
it.
do not have the mental capacity to like stand that.
When I solo queue, I have a really good mental for some reason. I play one game a day, and that for that one game, like if I play more than that, I'm gonna get tilted and I'm gonna get off. But for that one game, it's fresh enough, and I feel happy enough to be able to get through that whole game and be totally fine
Right.
because my mental is good and I'm
It's-
just happy to play the game.
Honestly, that's the thing with me in Valorant. I can only play like maybe 1 or 2 games because even just one game is it's so exhausting.
Mentally exhausting.
Mentally exhausting that like I don't want to play it again.
After the first game, I go into Cunham. The second game, I'm like, oh, it's this again. Do I want to do this again? It's risky.
It is risky. Well, it's like remember because the last time I played, it was with you, and we played the one game, we won, but I didn't want to play
Get
after
off.
that. I just didn't want to play.
Cut your
after
losses,
that.
man.
Nah, dude, you take your elo and you leave.
Like it's just so goddamn tilting.
Like that's just how it is for me.
Apparently, I heard about
I saw that on Twitter actually.
Valorant console ports seemingly confirmed by new Riot job ad.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw that on Twitter. I didn't really think much of it, but like
I'd not heard about this. Okay,
really?
so I knew that they were going to mobile. We had the leaks about mobile.
Yeah, I think so. From what I saw, Valorant Mobile is going to come out first, and then after Valorant Mobile is going to be Valorant Console.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna work though. That's gonna be played so like fundamentally so different.
Surely it's not gonna be cross compatible because that would be a joke.
No, that'd be such a joke.
That would be disgusting if it was cross compatible.
There's no way unless I can like plug in my keyboard onto my PS5 and absolutely just smoke the competition.
Oh, I'd do that.
I'd do it.
I'd do that in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, okay, I'm a
if people can't do that, they would do that.
I'm gonna be real here. I'm doing anything to gain any kind of competitive advantage against somebody. Whether
that's
it's like ratty one way or it's like I'm just playing in like some weird corner, playing in a certain way. I am doing it to get a competitive advantage.
I think they already announced because like I think from the start of Valorant they said it was always in their scope to move to other platforms. Mm-hmm. They just wanted to focus on refining PC first before they moved to console or mobile.
Completely makes sense.
And I think they already stated that they're not going to do any kind of cross compatibility. It's Riot Games. Like they're doing everything to make sure that there's the most amount of competitive integrity. Mm-hmm. You can plug in your keyboard and mouse to a PS5 and play against console players on Valorant. I understand on Call of Duty. On Call of Duty, you have aim assist, and the game works for console.
Yeah.
It just works well. Like there's actually like when it comes to Warzone mouse and keyboard, it's more fair. But if you move into Valorant, console players are going to get whooped.
Okay, so this
is not even going to be a competition.
So I don't know if you remember this. So back when Counter-Strike, like CS:GO was first released, they had a console port for like the 360 and the PS3. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah. I feel like it's gonna play something similar to that, but it's gonna be really weird with like recoil control and stuff like that. Like
I remember the CS:GO console port, and I mean they released it.
Was it
and
good?
they never updated it again.
No, I think it had like maybe 2 or 3 updates. Like that was about it.
My friend told me that he used to play it, and my jaw dropped because that's not
Like-
the first time
like
I've heard
willingly?
anyone ever play CS:GO on Xbox. I was like, "What were you doing?" He was like, "Yeah, it was pretty fun, man." No, it was like a
No,
pile of garbage.
like I
Maybe
don't-
at the time when it came out, it was fine because like when they released it to console, it was the version that was on
It
mouse
was-
and keyboard. Like
yeah, it was like
20 years ago.
CS:GO hasn't been out for 20 years. It's been out for 10.
CS has been out for 20
Oh,
years.
CS itself has been out since like 99 or like 1990
Something like
something
that. I don't
like
mean
that.
actually 20 years, probably like
But I know what
10
you
years.
I know exactly. what you
2011,
mean.
2012, something like that. Before I even knew it.
Now, do you
Counter-Strike.
think that like how do I explain this? Just like say if I linked my Riot account to like my PlayStation Network account, do you think I could just like hop on and just
No.
you know, or do you think they would do? I almost think Halo does this thing where it's like you can choose your input or you can choose like a duos playlist. So like if you and I were playing Halo, for example, we would we'd get teamed with another duo queue, and so on and so forth. Do you think they'll do something like that where it's like if your input is on controller, you're only going to play with controller players, or
Yeah. Well,
Do you think
like
that-
because like if they implement that,
Like, say-
that would be because
like
it is
say if I were to link my Riot account to my PlayStation, do you think I would have a separate ranking for playing on my PlayStation compared to playing on my
you would
PC?
have to
That, like,
because
that
they're
would
two
make-
different platforms.
That
It's
would make sense, right?
controller and mouse and keyboard. If I were to go play Valorant on console,
Yeah.
whatever it might look like, it's probably just gonna be the exact same. But
It's
just
honestly, it's
console
probably. I feel like
support.
it's gonna.
My rank is
It'll
gonna
probably
be
just like Valorant on like high settings. It's
My
probably what
r-
it will be.
my rank will be totally different. I'll have to
Oh.
relearn how to play the game again. You can't transfer the ranks over. That wouldn't work.
I just
That would be
with certain
That'd be
characters, like let's say Raze, for example, a very movement oriented character. You could do the double satchels. You could do the rocket boost as well with your ult. Like I
actually
would. Yeah, did you not know you could like if you were
no,
like.
no. I feel like Raze would actually be really good when ported to controller. I feel
But
like
I
her
ju-
whole agent kind of makes sense with controller, with her movements through the air. Like it would become so much easier.
I mean,
That's
I'm
one
just,
aspect of
I'm
Valorant
just
that I
using
feel
it as like an example, but like with a controller, I just feel like you're limited with like what buttons you can use unless you can like manually customize your button layout. But like I just
it
feel
would
like
be hard. But at the same time, you're all on the same level playing field, so
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Now,
you're all dealt the same cards at the end of the day. It might be a little bit harder. Obviously, mouse and keyboard is always going to be 1,000 times easier to play Valorant.
Mhm.
But I think on console, I mean,
do you think they'd add aim assist to that though with the controller?
surely they add
Or
aim
do you
assist.
do you think the sensitivity just generally would be really low, so it's easier to hit?
I think they have to do aim assist because people just suck on controllers. I
mean,
mean,
I
every
guess
game
so.
has aim assist because it's like Valorant is like such a like for the casuals too. You know, like
Yeah.
they care about user friendly kind of vibes for their game. They have to have aim assist for the noobs. I'm sorry, like
Okay, I know this is like kind of off topic. Do you think aim assist is broken? Like, do you
I don't,
like
I'm
if
not
you
a console player.
like if
I don't
you
know.
like if you say we're playing Call of Duty. Let's say you're playing it on keyboard and mouse, and because I play Call of Duty on a controller, and if I were like, do you think it is an unfair advantage?
No,
Thank you.
I don't think aim assist is an unfair advantage because
Thank
like
you.
you look at mouse and keyboard and you can aim so precisely. You can if you the sky is the limit.
You get it.
The sky's
Thank
the
you.
limit with mouse and keyboard. With controller, you're pretty limited.
Because you have your two thumbs and like that little dead zone, and like that's it. Whereas like a mouse and keyboard, I can use my entire damn arm and like the entire width of my desk to
You
aim.
have complete control over it. With a joystick, you have such minimal
And you
control
can not
over
to
it.
mention you can fine tune your aiming to like perfectly match
Exactly.
you. So it's like I don't know, just that like that stupid aim assist debate.
It's
it
annoying.
always gets me
'Cause
up in arms.
In some ways, I guess in Warzone, for example, because that's like the easiest comparison to make. If
Yeah.
you look at Warzone, there's some gunfights and some situations where aim assist is going to help you more than a mouse, specifically with tracking. But then when you look at flicking and specifically like close range gunfights when you're jumping around each other, mouse and keyboard is always going to be better.
Oh,
They are both good at their own things. I think
they're good at their own respective things.
I think Warzone. I think it was fine having
I
that
didn't
as cross compatible.
Yeah, like I
I don't think that's too out of.
found an issue. Like if I saw somebody on a keyboard and mouse, because obviously you could tell by the way they're aiming. I'm not gonna be like, oh, he's on a keyboard and mouse, he's instantly better than me. It's like, okay, whatever. Like I don't judge the player by their input.
I do.
Do you?
Because I think people who have consoles are plebs, but that's another
But
story.
I mean, like, now that we're still on this topic, like I play Call of Duty with a controller. Does that make me any worse at Call of Duty? I don't think so. But I've also been playing Call of Duty on a controller since like Black Ops, since Call of Duty 4 back in 2013. That was my first Call of Duty that I bought back in 2013, and that's how I was introduced to Call of Duty back in the second grade. So I've been playing controller more or less associated with Call of Duty for like 10 years.
See,
so am I going to switch my input because somebody thinks aim assist is broken? No.
I think all of us started on console,
Yeah.
unless you have like a rich family who bought you a full-on gaming PC setup when you were like 8 years old. We all started on like that 360 or the PlayStation 3. We've all started on controller. I was playing controller for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And then I got a mouse and keyboard, or I got a PC, and I literally never went back. Never. I bought CODs before, all for PC, all on Steam.
No, and
I
then
could never pick up a controller.
that is completely understandable. There's certain games for me that I have to play with a controller. It's just how it is.
I guess we're all different.
I mean, yeah, but like
I disagree.
I don't think
You're
that
wrong.
like
PC Master Race.
I mean, I play with a controller on a PC.
Yeah, that's gross. That's yucky.
Yeah.
No, you have a mouse and keyboard right there. Just use it. It's just so much better and easier.
Now, do you think this is gonna be my next point before we got sidetracked? Do you think console will get different skins in Valorant compared to PC?
No, there's no way. Are you like implying there might be console exclusives?
Yeah, like when it comes to my mind, like you know how like certain consoles have those exclusive games, like Xbox has Halo, or I guess Microsoft has Halo. And,
Yeah.
You know, like
Nah, I don't think Riot would sell out that hard. No, I don't think so.
No, they could.
Console that would annoy PC gamers so much because we would get no exclusives.
No, we wouldn't.
They would have to be exclusives for both mouse and keyboard, or for both.
What do you? I don't know. It's a weird topic if I'm being completely honest.
I don't think they would do exclusives. That would make everyone in the PC gaming community totally pissed off.
True, unless you can link your accounts. Like say I link my account with my PlayStation, go onto Valorant on my PlayStation, buy a skin, go back to my PC, boom, that quote unquote exclusive skin could be there. Like that could work.
I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to wait.
Platforms
We're gonna have to wait like another like year and a bit at least.
It's gonna be a while.
It's gonna be a while.
But
we still have to wait for Valorant Mobile.
Have you seen the Valorant Mobile gameplay?
I have.
It looks scuffed. It is mobile, I know.
I think,
but it looks so.
I think if you're porting any like PC or console game to mobile,
you might as well just give up.
Look
at Fortnite Mobile. Look at Fortnite Mobile. That was like
popular
for like a week because of like everyone was like, oh my god, I can play Fortnite at school. And then like a week later, people stopped playing it because they realized mobile gaming sucks. Well, unless your game is made for mobile.
You can Bluetooth your controllers to your phone, but like, is it really worth it at that point?
I actually did that for Call of Duty Mobile.
I did that too.
I hooked up my mouse and keyboard to my phone because I have a Samsung. Oh, I think it was on my own. No, it was for this one because I have an adapter where I can plug in a USB right into my phone. So I plugged in my mouse and I was playing against other mobile players with a mouse and keyboard. Absolutely dumping on these kids.
Dude, even just using the regular like mobile controls, I was so dumpstering kids on that game. I think I have like a 4.3 KDA.
It's because they were bots. Everyone was good at that. They 100% had bots.
Oh, 100%.
Anyways, this is not about Valorant.
No, we've gone completely off track from Valorant. Anyway, what do you think about the new Ion Vandal? I almost mixed it up with Oni Vandal because I saw that concept on Twitter. What do you think about the Ion Vandal?
I think it's good. I like it. I would totally buy the skin if I didn't want to be broke. But I think the color variations are lacking. Like, I think they're just weird and they're not what we expected.
The color variations are lacking.
The green one looks okay. What is it? The yellow and like red one?
I know which one you're talking about.
Whack.
Black would go hard.
No, I said whack.
Oh, whack? Oh.
The yellow and the black one would go hard. That one would be sick. I don't know why they didn't do that.
That's what I think Valorant is missing out on. Is they're sticking to the regular like RGB color, but like red, green, blue.
They really just
and then they just like tweak the colors, like green to yellow, blue to like purple. But it's like, give me some pink, bro. Like if you gave me some pink, sell out instantly. Boom, you can take my entire wallet if I could buy a pink skin.
Think back to like the Prime Vandal and all the colors, all the Prime skins and like their variations. They're so good. They look so clean. They all look different and they're unique in their own way.
Okay, but
it's like I bought one Vandal, but I got 4 different kinds of Vandals because they're all like so unique.
Okay, and then Blue Prime Supremacy though. Blue Prime Supremacy. That's me.
I agree. Yeah, Blue Prime is undefeated. It's so nice. But you look at the Ion skin now, and it's like just plain colors just thrown on a Vandal skin. No like design, no creativity. It's like
Yeah.
you have the cool looking Ion Vandal, then you just copy paste some colors on it. It's like boom, there you go, there you go, there you go.
Okay, I need to go on a little tangent here because so recently Riot announced their give back bundle that they do every year.
Yeah.
And obviously fans can vote on what skins they want in the bundle.
I think it's pointless because the bundle skins are always at. They always
No, but this is like you could like choose what skins you want in the bundle. So
Yeah.
the Neptune Vandal or the Blub Blub as people like to call it.
Yeah.
So I bought that skin when it first came
Overrated.
out. I thought it was a cool skin. But now and because nobody bought it because nobody thought it was cool. So I bought it because I thought it was cool, so I was using it. And I still think it's cool. But then everybody, for some goddamn reason, hopped on the bandwagon of this thing is the shit.
It's not.
Okay, no,
it
but
sounds so bad.
This is what annoys me is that like I felt like I was a part of this little niche community with like my Bubble Vandal and my Fishies. But then they announced the give back bundle, and of course everybody wants the Neptune Vandal, and it's now everybody's gonna have a Neptune Vandal, and I think it just takes away like the quote unquote rarity of it, or like the
There's no such thing as rarity in Valorant with all their skins because they're just random. It's like Fortnite, dude. They're doing what Fortnite's doing, and it sucks. CS:GO is awesome with their skins and their rarity because you look at skins can have so much value. Valorant skins have no value.
I get that, but it's like I felt like I was a part of this little niche community with the Neptune Vandal because not many people had it, but now everybody's gonna have one, and it's just, I feel like it's like useless to have it now.
So what you're saying is you want rarity within skins.
I want rarity, like
no, you won't get it.
I know I won't, and
because as soon as a skin gains so much value, like a CS skin, like a knife that's worth over $1,000, people will start selling their accounts with those skins on it and stuff like that.
I know what you mean.
Actually, no, that makes no sense.
But
why would they sell their account when they could just? Oh, because like if you get like a really rare drop in an item store that like took forever to finally like show up in your store, and it's like super rare to get it, people will just sell their account right away.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I wish there was some rarity because it just like, like. I mean, I get it. Not everybody's gonna have a Reaver Vandal. Not everybody's gonna have a Prime Vandal. It's literally just RNG if it pops up in your shot or not.
It's totally RNG.
But
like, as soon as they add rarity to the skins that drop in your store, people are gonna find a way to sort of create a market for it. And Riot, I don't think they want that at all. I think they want no part of like the CS:GO has so many problems with like there's gambling websites and cases, and it's all gambling, quote unquote.
And I've lost a lot of money to CS gambling.
It's so controversial. Riot wants to stay as PG as possible, and this is what they're doing with their skins to make sure that happens. And it kind of sucks, but it makes sense. It's whatever.
I don't know. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I realized we were talking about the Sentinels roster, and we just went a completely different direction. So if I could just like go.
If you want to make a point to that, go right ahead.
I mean, like, I don't have a problem with the Sentinels roster. I mean, it is what it is. I think the only like problem they might have is with Pinkata and Sacy is just with their English because they're obviously from Brazil.
Sacy has good English. We've heard him talk.
Sacy has good English. I know Pinkata's working on it, and I feel like they'll be fine if I'm being completely honest. Like
Pinkata, he's a little iffy.
But like, I feel like we'll see. I know it's always been like in any esport, it's always been a challenge.
English is also especially a hard language.
It's a hard language to learn.
We'll see how Pinkata adapts. I mean, they've had like 2 months already, and they have a few more months to go before they're actually ready to start competing. So I think Pinkata. I mean, all he needs to know is like the call outs, really.
Yeah, but like I feel like you also have to have like a general understanding of English too if they're trying to go over strats.
Because I'm sure. I think he does.
Being honest, I feel like they're probably gonna learn some Spanish too. Like they'll probably go both ways.
Surely they do. Surely like tens and the XSET guys are already picking up on some like Spanish slurs or something like that. But I think Pinkata already probably has a good understanding of English. Like he can listen, but I don't think he can speak it very well. I think that's because most people can listen and understand English before they can actually properly speak it.
Yeah, like I mean, I think that goes for almost any language though. From most languages. I don't know. I mean, if we're still on the topic of the esports roster, C9. That is a roster I'm really excited for. We got Zelsis and Zeppa.
Yeah.
We got Ye. Like I can't even imagine how much C9 paid for Ye.
C9 has the big bucks. They're literally Cloud9. They can do whatever they want. It does not matter. obviously, I mean, I think we all had a feeling it was gonna be C9 or like maybe Sent.
It was C9 or NRG. Those are the two big toss ups for Ye.
Yeah,
But
C9
I
or
don't know.
but I mean, Ye wanted to leave. I get why Ye left his original Optic duo. I
Mhm.
think he just wanted change.
He did. No, it
He's
makes
like he's
complete
literally
sense.
the best in the world, arguably the best in the world.
What I guess what gets me is that like Zeppa and Zelsis play the same role. So how is,
Zeppa,
they're both initiators and a second duelist. So what I'm thinking is gonna happen because Leaf
I
is
don't see a
your
problem with that.
no, okay, no. This is the problem with the roster in general. Zeppa and Zelsis play the same role. So do Ye and Leaf. Ye just does Leaf's role better than Leaf. Like Ye just does Leaf's role
Ye is
better.
best in
Because
class.
Leaf can play chamber, no problem, but Ye can do it better. So what I'm thinking is gonna happen is Ye is gonna be the main chamber player for that team, and Leaf will be the duelist. Like Leaf will be like on like Jet or Raze, for example, and he will mainly play those two. Whereas um as Ye is just gonna be a strict opper on chamber, and off rifler every once in a while, but like his main role is probably gonna be opping because who does not want Ye on an op?
Obviously, Ye is gonna be on chamber, 100%.
But then again, Vanity's their IGL, sorry.
Smokes guy, he's the
Smokes
Omen main
IGL,
with
so
a
like that role is
judge.
covered. But Zeppa and Zelsis, one of them is gonna go strict initiator, and
You don't think they're gonna alternate
maybe depending on the map they
between
might
their
alternate.
roles? Because surely between maps, like one will play initiator, the other play maybe like secondary duelist or sent. Who's gonna play sentinel? It's Def.
Yeah,
Oh wait, no, we're
that's the
talking.
wrong
Sorry,
roster,
we're
you
talking about
numbnut. This
sentinel.
is C9.
Talking
Nah,
about C9 with Zeppa and Zelsis.
I guess. I mean, Zelsis could play Zelsis is a flex. He can play. Sage. I've seen him do it on Icebox quite a few times actually.
That's interesting. So who's gonna be the sentinel? I mean, obviously chamber, but like
Chamber, but like if you're running a double sentinel comp, I mean, I guess it would be. That's a hard one.
chamber, because chamber's gonna get nerfed soon, again.
I feel like he deserves to be nerfed, if I'm being honest, but that's a
Because they're
topic for
gonna
another
do
day.
something. They're gonna do something. I'm sure every pro knows this by now that they're gonna do something to make the Sentinels viable again. Because right now, Chamber is just better than
Every other
every other Sentinel. They like there's comps still run like KJ. Nobody runs Cipher, but they're giving him a buff too.
I mean, I know Mel tried running Cypher. I mean, Mel runs Cypher
In
whenever
Game Changers,
in Game Changers, yeah.
her
But
numbers weren't that good. I mean, I said it
Mel,
myself. Stats don't mean everything, but
true.
Cipher isn't that good.
Cypher, I know Cypher's not the greatest. I think he was getting a rework for the next.
He is
The
getting
next
a rework. I don't know what
okay,
they're doing
I
because
haven't seen what they're doing, but
it's
yeah,
literally Cipher. Nobody
yeah,
cares about him, but
that's about it. But I don't know. I feel like Zappa and Zelsa, it's gonna be a toss up. What role do they play and who plays what? That's what I'm
I'm
thinking.
thinking whenever I think of the C9 roster, I think back to their announcement video of them in the boxing ring.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh my god,
That was a pretty cool
that was
announcement
like
video.
pretty cool and like badass, but also very cringy. Like gamers get in the
Okay,
boxing ring and
bro.
put on some gloves.
Vanity is built like a straight gamer.
Man, he even has the cat ears.
He's got
Didn't
the
he have the
cat
cat ear
ears, man.
headphones in the video too? That guy
He
never
wore those
takes.
on LAN. He wore those on LAN back when he was on
Yeah.
V1.
No, he doesn't ever take those off.
You gotta respect. It's part of it. It's part of his character, though. And I kind of respect.
One thing,
You gotta respect it.
the reason I brought up that their announcement video is because of Ye and how literally they had the most hype announcement video to announce Ye. You know, he has his hood on, he takes it off, he announces himself and everything.
Right?
And then like you had that who's the guy with the mic? The guy, the bald guy who ripped off his wig, whatever.
I
And
can't
like the
remember.
announcer guy like starts introducing him, and he asks him like a question, and Ye is like, his nickname is El Diablo, but he's sitting there with a smile like.
The most least menacing dude.
The least menacing guy with his nickname is El Diablo. Like every time, like you'll see this man on land, he'll get like a 1v4, 1v5 clutch, and literally you'll see his reaction. He won't say anything. He won't get up. He won't, like show off or anything. He'll just like smile and be like, "Wow, guys, I just did that. What the heck?"
You gotta,
One of his
you gotta respect
teammates.
the composure.
He's so humble, man.
You gotta
He's
respect
so
the
humble. He's the
composure.
only person in Valorant that has a free pass to be the most. I don't know.
I know what you're trying to
He's
say.
allowed to have the biggest ego, but he hasn't.
He
He's
just
the
chooses not
humblest
to.
man.
I mean, honestly, I feel like egos get the best of players, and that happens in any esport, especially if you're a young up and comer. Like the ego really gets to you.
That's what a lot of pros have said before. That a lot of careers get broken because people and when they get recognized in ranked games. Like when people are aspiring to be pros and they're in like Radiant games and they're playing with pros and they have bad mentals.
Yeah.
and they constantly have bad mentalities, and other pros notice that, and they don't like that because like having a good mental is like one of the best things you could have on a pro team.
Oh,
And
for
if
sure.
pros catch wind that you're not like really in a great headspace when you're gaming and you let your emotions take the best of you, teams won't pick you up for that reason.
Well, that's why Stewie got dropped off EG when he was playing for CS. His mental wasn't good, and his ego was getting the better of him.
Yeah, I
And
heard
like
that as well.
and he wasn't being a good teammate, you know.
I heard that he was when he was IGLing, he like sometimes like just slowly stopped calming when he would
Yeah,
get tilted and stuff like that.
yeah, I
And
heard
it's
that
fine.
too.
It's like that happens to everyone, but at the same time when you're at the like highest level of pro play, you kind of
You,
need to be perfect.
yeah,
So it's whatever.
or maybe not even perfect, but as close to perfect as you can.
As close to perfect as humanly possible. And if you're tilting like that, then it's no bueno. No bueno.
I think to wrap this show up, you want to talk about the UI changes they did to the menu?
Oh yeah,
Like I
yeah.
feel like that is like
Dude, people were going crazy about that because the new UI was so hard to navigate. The whole point of a UI, okay, is to
the
be able to
user
easily
interface.
navigate the game and go through everything like really just smoothly and swiftly. The new UI, it looked great, but it
Okay,
was taking steps backwards.
I think okay. So the new UI looked great. I get it, like having like everything on the one little thing.
Yeah,
The main menu UI was the problem. The in-game UI, no problem. Like once you got out of a game, it would show who the players were and their
that
combat
was
scores and shit
sexy.
like that. No problem.
Visually, it's
That
amazing.
is visually like perfect. But the main menu UI is that's where the problem started because it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I want to go look at my shop, for example. Okay. Oh, but now like, what if I wanted to like, oh, I just bought this new skin. Okay, now I want to view it in my collection. Now I have to back out of that
You have to
menu.
go press home and then press another button. Before
Yeah,
everything was on the same menu, so you could just
exactly.
switch
Right.
between
And
easily.
I know that's what they changed recently. It's like the icons are at the top now,
They
which makes it
fixed
more
that.
fluent.
They fixed it,
But
thank
like
God.
me personally, I think the UI changes I think they're pretty good. Like
Now they're good, yeah. But before, like the first initial update of the UI, the big UI
it was a
overhaul
little
was garbage.
questionable to say
Because
the
you
least.
had a special button for your store for some reason, but no other like inventories or career or anything like that. So you could press the store and buy that, but then you have to press home, and then you'd have to press your collection or your career.
Mhm.
And then if you want to go back, you have to go back home. You have to press twice. Like it was just not intuitive whatsoever.
Yeah, like
Right? You do everything so well, but this was just so embarrassing.
it was
Like, it
they dropped the
sucked.
ball on that one. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not that big of a deal, but like, still, man, people care about stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, want a UI easy for the user to navigate the interface.
User
UI.
interface
That is what
says it in the name.
exactly. I think that does it for us. That's our pilot episode of the ValCast. I appreciate anybody for
Yeah,
tuning in, and yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next
it's
week.
been quite a while. Thank you guys for coming. I hope you guys enjoyed. And next week, I hope you guys join us as well for the next episode. I had fun today. Trial run today. I think it went pretty well. So I hope
Once
you guys think the same.
once again, I'm Grant. This is my co-host Jordan, and we're the ValCast.
See you guys. Have a good one.